Hey, let me ask you something. You remember Big Bird?
Oh, yeah, remember the tall one, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Everybody remembers.
Yes, my man.
She was the biggest thief around.
Let me get a Big Bird story, please. You gotta have
steal?
one.
She stole from you?
Long gone. Let me get a Big Bird story.
Okay, go ahead. That's it.
Go ahead. Let me hear it.
Tell us a story about Big Bird.
One time she laid down over here, she know how.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of NYC Crime Spot. It's me, Brett. We're outside Amore Pizza, one of my favorite pizzerias here in Queens. And I don't know if this is going to be a Crime Spot Eats or this is going to be a regular upload, because we're going to be talking about a few things. I got a special guest with me, by the way. My man Tony Hernandez from Corruption Connection. You guys probably seen him on my channel. He's been on with Johnny Mitchell, The Connect recently. You can see him with Gary Jenkins. Gangland Wire, right?
Yep,
Gary Jenkins, yeah. Check him out.
Retired Kansas City organized crime detective Gary Jenkins, yep.
We'll put the links in the description. I know he's got some other cool things coming up. And yeah, man, so what are we doing today, man?
This is one of my favorite pizza spots as well. I know. What's up, everybody? Brett, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, hell yeah.
First off, I appreciate that. This is one of my favorite pizza spots as well. I grew up on this slice right here, Amore. I think my mother grew up on this slice as well. The same family had a spot named Gloria's, which was not far from here. It was located under the LIRR stop over on Main Street.
Yeah, legendary spot, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Open late, too.
I'm starving and I'm dying for this pizza. Now that I'm in Vegas or whatever, when I come to New York, I gotta hit the slices.
All right,
in
guys.
my opinion, this is one of the best slices in New York City, not just Queens.
You know, I did a couple of these recently.
So I got a little flop.
Listen. As I said, one of my favorites. Tony said one of his favorites.
I've been eating this since I'm a kid. The recipe hasn't changed. Stay consistent. The sauce, the crust, everything. It's perfect.
Yeah, someone's going to be biased. 10.
Ha! Yeah, right?
Let me tell you though, if you guys come here, we're going to do a walk around the neighborhood here. We're going to tell a couple of stories about this area. Some of the shit that was going on here in the early 2000s. Hanging out here myself. I'm from this area of North Queens. Tony's from this area of North Queens.
Yep.
So we kind of have an idea of what used to go on around here.
Brett was one exit that way.
Yeah.
I was one exit this way.
Yep.
This was like the meeting point, and everybody comes here.
Yep.
Yep.
And if you come here, you know, normally I'll film inside or I film the streets. You guys know what I do, but Amore Pizza, you go in, it's kind of railroad. It just goes right back. It's not, it's a little rough around the edges, I guess you could say.
It's an old school spot. No
Old school.
frills. There's no casing. You can't see what they got. It's just regular and Sicilian. That's it. You know, they got a little bit of an attitude, so it's authentic New York all the way around.
That's it.
You know?
That's it. And we're gonna show you guys some of this area. We'll show you the shopping center here. As a kid, what we used to call, at least I used to refer to as Pathmark Shopping Center.
1000%. I used to come here daily with my father. The Pathmark right here. Yep.
So,
and there was an OTB. Remember the OTB?
Oh my God, we'll talk about that.
It was over here. They had one over here.
Yep.
And then they eventually moved it to a big building over there. We'll show you in a second.
Yeah. So we'll do a walk and talk. We're going to talk about a specific character from this neighborhood that only, I think, people that are from this area know of this character. This character was referenced in a rap song, which I'll talk about. And I'll talk about the first time I saw this character, and then the many times after that as well. And we're gonna show you the area, man. I mean, it's a changing area, but a lot of it has kind of fucking been the same for a very long time. Industrial,
right?
Rough at night.
It still got the industrial feel.
Yeah,
you don't really want to walk around here at night, not because it's that bad, but there's just a certain cast of characters that hang out around here at night that kind of prey on people, you know?
Right. And it used to be a lot worse. We're gonna talk about that. We'll see you guys in a minute. All right, let's head out, man. Me and Tony, we're walking the neighborhood over here. So
Yep.
we'll kind of give you a look, you know, and I'll be kind of showing you guys what the scene is over here. We'll go hit up the Sabret dude right now, see what's cracking over here.
Yeah, he's got some of the best shish kebabs, hot dogs, sausages around here. Might be closed. Let's see if he's open.
Classic Sabret.
Nick, what's up, man? How you been?
Doing great, man. How are
Long
you?
time, man. How you been?
Yeah, man. Excellent.
Yeah,
Sorry,
not
my
bad.
head is wet.
Don't worry. We got you recorded. This is
No,
one,
no, that's
longest
awesome.
one of the best
Hey, what are you
shish
doing?
kebab hot
Hey,
dog spots
what are
right
you
here.
selling?
Come see Nick. How you
That's
been,
right.
man? Nice to
Very
see
good.
you.
The same here, man.
Not bad.
Very good.
Let me get a shish kebab.
Lemon barbecue hot sauce.
Lemon barbecue hot. Yep.
You got it.
How long you been here?
In this spot,
Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah, but he
years.
used to be by the church in downtown Flushing.
Oh, I
Yeah, I got
definitely,
kicked out of there.
yeah. No, I remember you.
How long were you over there?
I was here. 30.
You were here.
30. You were here.
I was
Uh-oh.
here.
I forgot your name. What's your name?
So what happened? You gave it up?
Tony. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
I was here. I started in 1980 and I
Nice.
finished 2011. And then I went to my brother working after, working together.
1980. I remember him.
1980,
Yeah.
wow.
Now I'm starting to remember when I was young because we used to, like Brett was saying, we used to come here the path mark.
Yep, half mark.
Yeah.
Here, the amusement over there, everybody,
Yeah.
all the kids go over
Yeah,
there and play.
yeah.
Hey, let me ask you
Video.
something. You remember Big Bird?
Oh, yeah, remember the tall one, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Everybody remembers.
She, the,
Yes,
Thank
my
you,
man.
she was the biggest thief around.
Let me tell you. Come on, let me get a Big Bird story, please. You
What
gotta
she
have
steal?
one.
She stole from you?
Long gone. Let me get a Big Bird story.
Okay, go ahead. That's it.
Go ahead. Let me hear it.
Tell us a story about Big Bird.
One time she laid down over here, she don't have no underwear, and I saw a worm around that. I almost had throw up.
Oh my God.
Thank you, my friend. She was around 6'3" or 4.
6'3" or 4. That's what I remember.
The blonde hair, yeah.
She died around maybe 15 years ago.
That long ago.
Wow.
Yeah, she got sick.
Okay.
Yeah. There was a lot of hookers around here, but
Oh, yeah.
everybody
Oh, yeah.
disappeared.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah, how this neighborhood changed and everything. You know, it was a little different.
After the Chinese came, they chased them out.
Yeah.
One of them over there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
but
there you have it, Big Bird
most of them,
history.
they're all gone.
Yeah.
They dropped dead.
They dropped dead. Yeah.
Dropped dead. That's it.
Too many
A
years
lot
in
of
the
them.
street and all the
Yeah,
BS.
whatever, whatever it, whatever it takes.
Right.
You know, that's not life.
It's not a life.
You know, so they're lucky they're reaching 50s.
Terrible.
You know what I mean?
Terrible. Good to see you, fellas, huh?
Oh, same here, my
Yeah,
man.
definitely. We'll
All
see you
right.
on the next one.
Always a
around,
pleasure.
right? Yeah, definitely.
All right.
All right.
Hey guys,
Take it easy.
best of luck, guys.
Yeah, thank
Best
you.
of luck.
Anytime.
You're the
so
man.
much.
All right.
Thank you, brother.
Later, guys.
Keep up the great work. There you go, guys. So listen, we gave you a little sample of what we're going to be talking about today. So if you looked at the thumbnail of this video, I make a reference to the legend of Big Bird, Flushing, Queens' most notorious street walker. Now we're on Farrington Street right now. So I'll tell you right now. So I want to tell you about the first time I actually saw this woman.
Okay.
So when we moved from Whitestone, I moved into kind of the Bayside Flushing border, right? And there's 32nd Avenue there, which leads to Bayside High School. So I used to hang on 32nd Avenue all the time. And I'm probably 12 or 13, 13 years old, right? And I got my head down, right? And I look up, and probably the tallest woman I've ever seen walks by me. And it's like the movies, like, you know, like you see a group of kids see like their high school crush, and they all freeze and they're all just like looking like, huh?
Like Milk Money? You ever see
Yeah,
that
yeah,
movie?
Milk Money, yeah. Ed Harris, the God. So I'm like, whoa, what is this, right? Like, so she's about, as the gentleman at the hot dog stand just said, 6'3", 6'4", tallest woman I had ever seen. And then she goes to the corner and she starts talking to these old guys that are hanging out over there or whatever, you know, whatever they're doing. And I said, all right, I didn't know who the hell she was, right? Fast forward to early 2000s, 2002, 3, 4. My brother was the first one to get a car, you know, because he's a couple of years older, right? And one of the things that we would do at night, as Tony knows, this area was infested with we'll call them the women of the night, I guess.
Streetwalkers.
These streetwalkers, you know, YouTube doesn't like certain things.
Right.
And, you know, I was kind of a few years removed from HBO Hookers at the point, and
Same.
I kind of, yeah, you too, right? We all watch that stuff, Taxi Cab Confessions.
Oh my God, yeah.
So that only existed, of course, in my city, but I never got to experience it or watch it. So it came to a point where, so we're on Farrington Street and 32nd Avenue, and this was a hotbed.
Right here, yeah.
This was like,
This was a pool hall. This used to be a pool hall back in the day. Turned into a karaoke bar, but
now it's closed.
This was a hangout, whatever. A lot of prostitutes in and out of there. Asian organized crime. A lot of shady characters. Myself, I hung out there. I'm sure Brett hung out there.
Yeah, you know, we would come here.
A lot of neighborhood kids too. It was like a whole cast of characters from all different lives.
Yeah, and for us, it almost became like our entertainment.
Yep.
It became like our own personal freak show, and I hate to say it that way, because there was a lot of sick people. When I mean sick, like mentally unwell, on drugs, this and that.
Right.
So this strip right here, fast forward, we'll go down this way and we'll cut around, because this is, and then we can cut back around to Farrington.
Yeah.
So this strip that we're walking right here has always been industrial. So as I said, fast forward, you know, a few years later, right? My brother gets the car. We start coming down here at night.
Hello?
Hello, Tony?
Yeah. And
This is Carlo for
basically becomes our own personal show, you know? Just gonna cut it. Just, did you say anything on there? I'm gonna cut it now, hold on one second. So this strip right here, like I said, fast forward to a few years later, my brother gets the car, and this becomes our own personal show. Like, we come here constantly. You know, it's the summertime, we're all out of school, and we're driving down here all the time, and who do I see? Big Bird. And I say, oh shit, that's that huge woman I saw a couple years ago on 32nd Avenue. Come to find out, she is a drug-addled streetwalker, a woman of the night, a woman who sells her goods on the streets. Now, to see, I don't know if you remember her, but to those guys over there, all I had to say was Big Bird, and they knew exactly who she was.
They knew right away, yeah.
Knew exactly who she was, because that's how much of a presence she had.
Right.
So picture, it's early 2000s, on this strip, it's midnight, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and this whole strip, ladies and gentlemen, is filled with streetwalkers.
And this is not the kind of streetwalkers that might be kind of desirable. No, these are like the drug addicts and herpes all over your face and the homeless looking ones. This is the kind of level that we're playing here. We're not playing with the top tier hitters here, you know?
No,
these are the bench warmers.
Yeah, and they're yeah, exactly, yeah. And they are serving a particular clientele, you know, people that are into that, you know, truck stop guys,
and stuff.
of course. So what would happen many times is we would drive down here, and there would be all types of cars lined up. There would be like these pimp looking dudes, drug dealers, and there would be a line of these streetwalkers, these women, these drug-addled women who would line these streets. Sometimes they would dance, you honk at them, they start flipping out and dancing.
Yeah.
But by far the most notorious...
Blow kisses at you.
Yeah, all shit like that. But by far the most notorious was Big Bird.
1000%. I mean, I remember, like we were saying before, like next to the Pathmark on that little strip where we ate by Amore, there was an OTB. And I remember I must have been like 6 or 7. My father used to go in there all the time. So he'd take me in there, and when we walked out, I heard somebody say Big Bird. So obviously I was a fan of Sesame Street, that was my generation. I'm like, Big Bird, where? And like I see this big thing with it, I'm like, hey, Big Bird, you know what I mean? So it's like, even at that age, like you heard the name Big Bird.
Yeah, so picture, it's, you know, early 2000s, you're driving down here, and you see this 6'3", 6'4" woman in heels, maybe even taller with heels. When I say 6'3", 6'4", I mean probably weight 140, 150 maybe, which isn't that much for somebody that tall, even if you're a woman.
Right.
And it depends how sick she was, of course. And she just kind of became a neighborhood legend around this area. Sadly.
Not in a good way, but
not in a good way. We get a view down this strip here, so you guys can get an idea. And as you can see, it's all industrial. And this thing is workers in the day, and then at night it used to come alive.
Right.
There would be a little lull, everybody would go home, and then at night it came alive.
Well, see, a lot of that had to do with that was what you were talking about before, the hookers on the point.
Right.
When that came out, it kind of embarrassed the city a little bit, and they went and cleaned up Hunts Point. Because like every other youngin', I guess, that saw that, me and my cousins got in the car and headed straight to the Bronx to see what was going on.
Yeah.
And by the time the production was there, you saw a lot of them, but it started to really thin out. The cops started to crack down on it. What happened was it really was Times Square that they cleaned up, that threw up in the South Bronx, and then when they cleaned that up, it threw up over here. That's all it is. It just like migrated. That's all happened.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And East New York too. East New York to this day, I think.
Yeah, they got a strip.
Yeah. Strip of streetwalkers.
Yeah, they got a
call it
strip there too.
The Blade.
Yeah.
The Blade. Yeah. Girls walk the Blade.
So as you guys can see, you know, this is not the most visually appealing neighborhood. We're gonna take a walk down Farrington. And you'll see, like, now they're kind of building up condos here, and I suspect in 10 to 15 years or so this is going to look a lot different. But this was it. This was an infamous strip for these women, for these homeless people. They would have mattresses, you know, I mean, we see that in other cities, and everyone's got a mattress on the street now. But back then, I mean, around here it wasn't that common, but you did see it. Actually, fast forward to... Everybody, I'm sure, is aware of Action Bronson, the rapper. Yep. The rapper from Flushing, Queens. Almost a household name at this point.
Yeah, he's down by Colden. He grew up like
164, I think.
Maybe like a half a mile from where I'm from. Yeah, right across the park, right?
Let's go down this Cuddy block right here.
Over here.
So he's got a song off the Blue Chips album called "Contemporary Man," and in that song he says, "Big Bird, Farrington alumnus."
Big Bird, Farrington alumnus, mouth like a pussy, she gummed it.
What I want with this one.
And then he says some other things which I'm not going to repeat, which allude to sexual acts, but he gives a shout out to Big Bird on that song, which when I heard it, I was fucking dying. I was dying. It just shows you, like, the visual, like the legacy somebody could leave behind.
You'll never read about this in the paper, probably.
No,
You'll never find any information online, but this is a real New York City story that happened, and if you're from here, you know about it.
Exactly, just like the shish kebab dudes and the soubrette stand over there.
As soon as he said it, you remember? And boom, it clicked in his head.
Oh,
How long he's been here? He's been here since the 80s, you know?
She's a fucking thief, or whatever he said. Yeah, well, he said she passed away about 15 years ago.
Right.
Truth be told,
those guys know everything, man. They've been here for a long time.
As you guys can see, it's getting a little cuddy over here. Truth be told, the last time I actually saw her, there's like an apartment building a couple of blocks up. The last time I actually saw her was probably about 15 years ago, and she was walking with like some little Asian dude into an apartment over there. And I remember thinking, like, dude, what are you doing? Like he just had like a you know, he looked like a businessman kind of.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, come on, Big Bird. And that's probably the last time I seen her.
Maybe he killed her.
Well, the guy over there said she got sick or whatever it was.
She probably caught an infection. He said she had worms down there.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, oh my God.
Imagine. And then the guy goes and lays down with her. Doesn't know she's got worms.
This is disgusting. Yeah, so this is kind of, you guys are getting, and everybody talks about Flushing and how popular it is now and all the foods and all the condos are going up. This shit is like Flushing, where time has kind of stood still. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is still cuddy, this is still a little rough. We got projects over there, we can walk by those if you want.
You see this, you see where this lady's sitting down right in front? Here, come over here with me.
Yeah. Right now we're on Farrington Street. Let's get a look over here at the sign so you guys could see Farrington. There you go.
So this spot right here where it says AFK Dance Studio in LA, where you can see right here was a notorious rub and tug joint.
Oh,
You would see tons of cars lined up here, high class clientele as well. Let's see if we can get a little look inside.
急啊！真的，我可以给你直接保证。
So this used to be closed, and the elevator you would press and it would open up right to the spot. Let's go take a look, see what's up there.
Looks like a kid's dance school though.
Think?
Yeah.
Just a regular like K2 dance school. Hello. Is this just for kids or adults too?
Both have.
Both?
Yeah.
Do you have like a pamphlet like of like any kind of information?
Instagram or
What's your Instagram?
yeah, I can send you the schedule.
What's your page on Instagram? You have a page on Instagram?
Yeah. AKF Dance Studio.
AKF Dance Studio?
Yes. Which
Alright,
ages
cool.
you're interested for?
Probably like 13.
13 for adult.
I don't know. I gotta ask. But yeah, 13 years old.
30, right?
No,
1
3.
Okay.
1 3.
Is that girls or boy?
Boy.
Boy?
Yeah.
Okay, so boy we have HIPAA foundation part.
Oh, okay.
For the adult and the teenager over 12 years old.
So was it just a dance studio?
Yeah,
Right?
just a dance studio. They really cleaned it up in there. It's hot as hell. It's sweaty.
Hell yeah, it's hot as hell.
Yeah, well, this was a spot. Like, that's what I'm saying. The neighborhood was really sketchy at one point, and it looks like they cleaned it up a lot. Like, this was notorious. There was tons of cars hanging out here, in and out all day, 24 hours.
Yeah, when we get to the corner, we'll see they put up a brand new condo.
Yeah.
So like, you know, thank you, buddy. And of course today there is an actual legit red light district here in Flushing. That's going to be about a half a mile up that way on 40th Road, right off Main Street. You guys can look that up. I did a story there about an incident that occurred on that block. Now I'm happy we got to these houses over here. So these houses right here are very old. They've been here, fuck dude, it's got to be 100 years. I mean,
Yeah, they've been here a long time.
now I also know for a fact that one of these houses was a spot where these women would hang out, because I seen Big Bird and all them running into one of these houses one day. So I don't know what was going on in these apartments and these homes, but I'm sure it was pretty shady. Yeah, and you can see these houses are very old. They've been here for, I'm gonna say at least 100 years or more.
They look like houses that were built in like the 30s or something like that. Yeah.
Everything has just been built around them, and they're just like the last remaining piece of, you know, what's left over here.
Right on the other side of this street, you can kind of see in the distance, is Latimer Gardens.
Yeah, there's
a housing project.
Yeah, we'll walk around. We can walk around that way.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, we'll take a left up there. So you're gonna see like some shady hotels over here. Once again, like if you come here at night and just like spend a few minutes observing these hotels, you're gonna see a lot of funny things going on.
Charged by the hour.
Yeah, that type of spot. Like this here, Key Hotel.
And then right on the other side of this is another hotel as well.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
Flushing.
Yeah,
the Flushing something. The Flushing
yeah, that's
Inn, maybe.
That's the real. We'll go check that one out.
That's the $35 an hour that you might get AIDS when you leave.
Exactly. So this is cool, guys. You know, I just wanted to come over here with Tony, you know, get some Amore, and then kind of talk about an interesting character from this area. And you can see now, look at this. They're building these crazy condos up over here. Look at that.
Yeah. Definitely, man, and that's one of the reasons why it's a pleasure of mine to be featured on your channel, man, because you got a great channel. You're talking about,
I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, man, definitely. You talk about some great crime stories, but you incorporate a lot of history that, you know, it kind of just gets lost, you know, and I'm trying to do the same thing with my channel, you know. We're talking about stuff that maybe you, like you said, you can't find in the newspaper or you can't find anywhere, but everybody knows about it. They're just great stories that just kind of get forgotten in New York City history.
Yeah, man. Like every neighborhood holds a legend, legendary characters. You see in the distance another condo, legendary characters, legendary stories that over time they get lost.
Right.
And listen, is Big Bird, is this so important? Is this, no, I guess not. But, you know, it's just one of those things. It's an interesting history. And even running into those guys, I hate to keep saying it, in the cigarette stand, right away, Big Bird, yep, they knew who he was.
That's the thing.
They knew who
man.
she was.
1000%. And that's the thing that you know, I try to illustrate a lot on my channel as well. Like these neighborhoods or whatever are disappearing. They used to be generational neighborhoods. As you see those houses, they were probably generational houses. And,
Oh, for sure.
You know, I would consider myself probably the last generation. Like my kids aren't going to be living in the house I grew up in and raised their kids. It's over. It kind of just got priced out and everything changed. And that's, you know, it ties into what we're saying as well as far as the historical context.
Yeah, the neighborhood changes, the culture changes, the faces change, the buildings change, and then, you know, that's it. It's all gone. Forget about it. It's all finished. Now, you know, you see this construction thing right here, probably going to be another condo.
Definitely.
I'm not trying to shit on progress, but, you know, it's just to make a point that, you know, things are changing. You know, that condo behind us, you know, those are probably up top, I don't know, $1 million?
Easily.
Maybe?
Yeah, easily. And the maintenance, forget it.
Yeah, then the maintenance, yeah, then you got to pay the maintenance. So right now, we're approaching Linden Place, and what is this? Is this 35th? I'm not sure, I got to check it out. Yeah, 35th.
Yep. 35th and Linden.
35th and Linden. We'll make a left here. We'll show you the other Cuddy Hotel, and then we'll show you the houses, the projects over here.
These are probably one of the smallest concentrations of New York City housing projects in the whole city. It's only 1 or 2 buildings. It's called Latimer Gardens. It's a pretty rough block. But the funny thing about it is it doesn't really bleed out of this area. You know, you didn't see the project violence kind of come out too much, you know. Maybe by Farrington, like we said, with the drug deals and the pimps and stuff, but it didn't really bleed anywhere into downtown Flushing or north, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and that's how a lot of New York City neighborhoods are. Like you go a few blocks, it just straight up changes.
Right.
So this is another spot, guys. You don't want to stay here. You don't want to stay here.
This was the notorious Flushing Motel. Big Bird probably frequented every single room in here.
Yeah, yeah. Big Bird's been in every room in this place.
Charging the customers who knows how much, but it's $35 an hour, I think, or $50 an hour, whatever they charged back then. Who knows what it is now?
This is a rough spot.
Just straight up pimps, drugs, hookers. That's all it was over here.
You don't want to have a reason to stay in there.
Yeah, right. Coming up on the left is Carome. Wow, the sign is still there. That was one of my spots.
How long has that been there, dude?
Bro, I used to hang out there when I was a kid. It was one of the only spots they used to serve. It was Chinese owned, and they used to serve us underage all the time.
Here you can get a view of the condos from here, and then the back of that hotel I showed you about on the other side there. All right, so here this is like a banquet hall. Actually, let's cross the street because there's some pretty good architecture on this thing that I think is pretty tight. I'll show it from this way.
Linden Place. Been there for a long time.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that up there. Nice architecture. Yeah, so it's in New York City, right? It's like a mix of ugly and beautiful.
Right.
All on one block, you know? It's just like, one minute it's disgusting, and the next minute So you call it Karam. We used to call it Karam.
Yeah,
I don't know, whatever. Either way.
Karam.
But this spot's been here forever, huh?
Yo, forget it, bro.
I never went here because all I heard was like people beating each other up all the
So
time.
Asian organized crime. Probably still is.
So I never felt comfortable going in there. So I never
I
really.
tell you though, they were real cool. As long as you started no problems. I mean, me and my crew started hanging out in there when we were probably 14, 15. Swear to God, on my prom night, we came here and we were drinking until 6 a.m. The guy was super cool. Andy, I'll never forget his name.
So right now we're heading to 32nd Ave. We're on Linden and 32nd. You guys are getting the real Flushing tour. It's kind of like Flushing, bordering on College Point. I would still consider this Flushing. I mean, I guess I'd have to look at a map, but to me it's Flushing. I mean, I don't know.
It's still considered Flushing, yeah.
Yeah.
Flushing is really big. People when you say Flushing, they only think downtown Flushing, Main Street.
Oh no, Flushing is huge.
It extends all the way north, east to where I'm from, by like the LIE, and south towards College Point, like you said.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, when we moved from Whitestone, I lived in North Flushing, which is like close to Bayside, Whitestone.
It's like an imaginary borderline.
It's an imaginary border. It's like it's all the same. People get really tight about that.
Right.
And I'm like, yo, bro, I could have walked across the street and been in Bayside.
Right.
How are you getting tight over this?
Right.
So we'll head back to Farrington. The legend of Big Bird. If you guys could have seen her, it would have been a sight to see for you.
You got to see if somebody can find a picture of her.
I know. I know.
I'm guessing she's got tons of mugshots in the 109.
You know what? That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I gotta go talk to one of them cops over there.
See what you can do. I'll call in a favor, see if I got anybody that works there. But I don't know. It's a long time. She died 15 years ago.
15
anybody
years
that
ago.
was around, maybe retired by now. You know, you'd have to speak to one of the detectives probably.
So here it is, back at, we used to call it Pathmark Shopping Center, Linden Place.
Farrington Plaza.
Farrington, so many names. So many names. And this used to be the Pathmark right here.
You remember when the Wendy's was a Roy Rogers?
Yeah, right, yeah, where that Wendy's is used to be a Roy Rogers. Yep. Definitely, I remember that shit. And then for any of the old school heads over here, you might remember Super Amusements.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll go over there. I want to talk about Super A. We used to call it Super A, and then it turned into Smiles for a minute. It might have been something before Super A. I'm not really sure, but kind of that's all I remember it being as a kid.
Going even further back, a generation before this, my cousin's generation, he told me where the multiplex is. Too hot.
Hot as hell, man. Mr. G style.
He sees us. Right across the highway right there, we see the multiplex, which I heard just recently closed.
Yeah, everything closed there. Toys R Us is gone. Party City is gone.
That actually
right
used
across
to be
the highway over there. Oh, Adventures Inn. Adventures Inn.
Is that what it was called?
It might have been called Adventures Inn.
I think it was a generation before me. I really can't remember.
There was a big fire. What do we got here?
Oh, look at that. New York City resident.
Rest in peace, buddy. Rest in peace. You had a good run.
Somebody's neighbor.
You had a good run. All right, guys, listen, and we hope you enjoyed that walk and talk. I want to say thank you to Tony, Corruption
man. Thanks
Connection.
for having me, man. Yeah, definitely.
Fellow neighborhood paisan. Listen, like I said, check him out, Corruption Connection. Check him out on the Connect with Johnny Mitchell. Check him out with Gary Jenkins, Gangland Wire. And he's got some other stuff coming up soon, so be on the lookout.
Yeah, I got a couple big interviews coming soon or whatever. Definitely be on the lookout. I want to thank Brett, Crime Spot, for having me on or whatever. I'm a big fan of his channel. He was one of the inspirations on why I got into this and stuff. You know, the New York City history, the crime lore. It's just right down my alley. It interests me a lot. So, you know, kudos to Brett for doing a great job on his channel, and hopefully more to come. We're going to collaborate on something else. We'll release it on my channel, so definitely stay tuned for that. A little bit about where I'm from, and we'll be heading there in a little bit, so be on the lookout for it.
So listen, Like I said, first time here, like, subscribe, check out my other videos and stuff, and yeah, come over here to Amore Pizza. I can't forget that. Check out Amore Pizza.
Definitely.
No frills.
Best slice in the city.
Best slice, no frills. Guy on the counter, a little rough around the edges, but that's why we like New York, right? All right, guys. Peace.